So today we are going to get into who do I subscribe to and who do you follow? What is the psychology between who you follow and who you are as a person? All right, we're going to look at this. I'm divulging, something very personal. I guess some people can get out there. YouTube, you can't see sometimes who people follow, but I wanted to talk about this because it's very interesting. Why do people follow certain people or subscribe to certain people as opposed to others? Because we're all different. What is it that drives you to subscribe to the person that you subscribe to or follow the person you follow? We're going to look at this. First of all, I want to show you this is podcaststudios.store. You should check it out. It's in it's either in the description or it's on my channel, so you can go check it out there. But I just wanted to throw that out there. Let's dive into who are my subscriptions. And also, who do you subscribe to? Because who you subscribe to, I wanted to throw this out there. The dynamic, the change in my perception and mindset of who I'm following. Do I follow just everybody I run across? No, I don't. And I'm sure you don't either. But we're going to dive into it from my side. Here we go. This is my YouTube, who I subscribe to on the YouTube side. And this is something recently, probably about a week or two ago. I used to subscribe to so many different people, but I got to the point where I'm like, the test is I have to subscribe to this person. Otherwise, I'm not going to be happy, I became, I guess, a lot more critical with the people I subscribe to as opposed to just everyone. If I cannot, go without subscribing to them, I don't. And I unfollowed, I unsubscribed a lot of people. And I don't know, it's a little bit therapeutic, you want to get more close knit to the people you want to follow and you're interested in the most. But this is my YouTube, who I follow on YouTube. And this is in alphabetical order, so that it's not that the top one is the better than the bottom ones or anything like that. This is just alphabetical order. Alex O'Connor, Andrew Russo, Ben Shapiro. Andrew Russo, I wanted to say something about him. He is the funniest man on the planet. If you're not familiar with him, and we're gonna go through my YouTube subscriptions, my X following, TikTok and Instagram, and there's a difference in each of them on why I subscribe to certain people in some context, but not in another. And I'm sure it's the same for you as well. There on every platform, you have a different vibe, a different feeling you're going for. When you go there, what are you looking for? But there is a lot of crossover on who I follow on YouTube, as well as on X and Instagram. All right. But I want to go down these. Ben Shapiro. I used to follow tons and tons of people. One of the the things that if I follow somebody I know personally, I've tried not to cut any of those people out. I've tried to stay with those. If I personally know someone, they're there to stay. I'm not going to let go of the people that I know personally in this world. But I've been a lot more critical on the people that are out in the open, public people that I want to have in my life. And I'm just kind of offering this for everyone. It's a good feeling when you kind of cut ties with some people. You're going to still see them. They're not going to evaporate and vanish off the planet just because you stop subscribing to them or stop following them. They're still going to be out there. They're going to be putting your For You page if you're still interested in their stuff. But it's just it just feels good I follow people and I've subscribed to people that I really feel a tie to, and I want them in my life. I cannot go without subscribing to them, if that makes sense. Ben Shapiro, Bless God Studios, Caleb Francis. This is a guy, I found him on TikTok, and I follow him on TikTok. That's kind of where I discovered some of these people. But this isn't a guy that's he's not like a Ben Shapiro or a Charlie Kirk or anything like that, but he's hilarious. He's really down to earth. He's really funny. He does so many videos that are hilarious, and he goes live a lot of times. He's a gamer as well. Capturing Christianity. His name, Cameron Bertuzzi. He's a Christian. Recently became Roman Catholic. Charlie Kirk, Club Random Podcast. That's Bill Maher's show. Donald Trump, Eminem, Flagrant, Fox News, Jordan B. Peterson, Joe Rogan Clips, I think I mean I think I'm very tied to Joe Rogan, as in like I love Joe Rogan. So having something like an offshoot of what his creativity and people out there that compile his videos, I stuck with it. Like I would just like for anyone out there, just if you're wanting to do this and you wanted to cut down and just it does feel good. You can go through it over and over. You can clean that, filter through who you're following, who you're subbing to, and just it's not you're not marrying them. You're not being betrothed or wed to somebody. You could follow them, you could stop. It's but it's just I do think it is nice to really hone in on the people that you really just, and it's not even people that you necessarily are always watching, but it's somebody you feel a connection with. That's where I find it, like the subbing and following. It's like there's a reason, there's a story behind every follow, behind every subscription. Jubilee, I just like a lot of their stuff. I decided to follow them. Julian Dory, I've watched him. I found him, I think, when Alex O'Connor went on his show, and Julian Dory, I comment on a lot of videos. The only like of a huge creator, a huge podcaster that's out there, he has been the only one that I've seen that has responded, or I don't know what it did, but it like gave me like an emblem because something I wrote on one of his videos, I commented and he hearted it or did something, but it went into my trophy case or something like that in YouTube. It's kind of weird to say, but just based on that, which goes to show you just that if you have an audience out there, the people that you're reaching, you feel you want to build camaraderie with, you want to build relationship with, life with, going the extra mile of just commenting and responding to what they're saying, hearting their messages, liking them, liking what they're saying, and just dialoguing, going back and forth. Him doing that, which I don't know too much about him. I've seen a few of his podcasts. I like it a lot, but just him doing that gave me that instant connection where I'm like, all these other guys that I might watch more, but Julian Dory, him hearting my message, something that I said was really cool. Michael Knowles, Mr. Beast, Ninja. Padcast Studios, that is our business. You can see that at Padcast Studios. Podbean, that is who I run our podcast through. We have different podcasts out there, and who we run it through is the RSS feed of Podbean. They are the hosting site. And then Joe Rogan himself, Powerful JRE, the Joe Rogan Experience. Real Time with Bill Maher. You can see, so that is 2 Bill Mahers right there. 2 Bill Mahers, because we saw Club Random earlier. And we got Ruslan, KD. He's a Christian out there. Just overall good guy. And his business is Bless God Studios. And then Diary of a CEO. I love that podcast. There is so much good stuff on that. Stephen Bartlett is the guy who does that. It's very unique. It's grown to over 10 million subscribers. And that is big. I mean, just when you think of it, we think Joe Rogan himself has 20 million. I mean, that's a lot, but to me, it seems like, how does Mr. Beast have almost 500 million and Joe Rogan has 20 million? I mean, it's maybe apples and oranges. Mr. Beast is playing worldwide game. It seems like Joe Rogan is more targeting within the United States. And a lot of people, a lot of times subscribers, followers, it becomes just a vanity metric, unless you are really trying to drive community and be in touch with the people that follow you, that subscribe to you. It is just a vanity metric, because I think of Joe Rogan himself, like, he doesn't look at his comments. He always says over and over, I stay out of the comments. And me personally, a lot of times I don't feel good if I read through the comments. A lot of the times, if I see comments coming through, if it's right in front of me, I'll read it, but a lot of times there's a better % chance that I'm going to come away feeling like crap reading through comments as opposed to feeling good. If I see something nice, I do want to respond and say something to somebody that puts anything in there. But usually the bad comments just overrule, and they can leave you in a lot worse position of feeling and emotionally than the good comments that are out there. It's like sports. It's like in sports, the losses hurt so much more than the winning feels good. I firmly believe that. I say it all the time. It's the God's honest truth. You could win 20 Super Bowls in a row. You lose the next one, that loss will just drive you crazy and make you feel like cripe. I can't talk. It'll make you feel like crap that you'll forget all of those 20 Super Bowls before. That's what I feel like. You could go on the longest streak of winning, but just that one loss hurts like hell. Then we get to Tim Pool, Tim Cast IRL. You can see I was in the mood for Tim Pool right there. He's got three different channels. So this was probably his personal one, Tim Pool. I mean, when you become in like YouTube or any entertainment, it's no longer about personal or whatever. It's like you are a business. You are a businessman. It's not I'm personal over here and I'm business over here. You know, it's the lines cross and they mix and they go together. But so he's got Tim Pool, Timcast News, and then Timcast IRL. The IRL is in real life. That's what his biggest channel right there, and that's what he runs his that 8 p.m. Eastern sit down with the whole group of people that he has every night, Monday through Friday. But the Tim Pool and Timcast News, like, seems like he uses them for different reasons and why he does it. You know, throughout the day, a lot of it is that Timcast News, and then on certain things he chooses to do the Timcast. But I would say this. It seems like for me, I don't know if I was kind of influenced, and that's what this is all is. It's just like you're driving to create an audience, create people that are of like mind, who you want to be in connection with, and that's what Tim Pool was a huge influence on me. Joe Rogan was a huge influence on me in doing what I am doing now. You know, I'm obviously not to that level, but it's still, they are those people that probably they would never know my name, but like they have had an impact on my life, you know? And that's why if you are in this space, if you're creating stuff, which I highly encourage everyone out there to be doing, especially as we get in more to everything is AI. AI is going to be doing everything, but having something where you're creating and producing just the content, which is your life and what you have to offer, because it is helpful. It is beneficial to everyone, you know, and doing that sooner rather than later, you know. And those two guys, I would say Tim Pool and Joe Rogan, were probably the two biggest ones of me even stepping up and doing what I'm doing now. Tucker Carlson, and you can see we're getting to the very end of the list. This is it, because it seems like I used to have hundreds and hundreds of who I followed. I whittled it down, and I will continue to whittle it down. And there's different people of reasons I follow different people at different times. vidIQ, it's a very good helpful source to use if you are into content creation, and they know what really flies on YouTube and how to best boost your channel, make what you're creating be very helpful to everybody, bring value, because that, even though it's the corniest thing ever to say, it's the truest thing ever to say is, if someone is going to spend their time of listening to you, then the most important thing you can do is not waste their time and give them value every second, you know? And then Wes Huff, absolutely love him. He's Christian. He's went on so many podcasts. He's does his own thing in Canada. He's kind of like the apologist right now for Christianity. He does it. He articulates it very well. I highly encourage following him. And then YouTube creators, I don't know why I follow them, but I do. They obviously almost got 10 million. You know, it's a thing that looks like that. I don't know why I necessarily started following them, and I probably just, it's a thing that maybe helps if you're into creating stuff on YouTube, having that kind of access of hearing their stuff, any stuff that new comes out. Like that one, I hadn't really thought about why. Whenever I was going through that list, probably about a week or two ago when I was doing that, I just saw YouTube on there. But YouTube creators, if you're a creator, it's probably a good idea to follow and stay in touch with that channel. All right, we're gonna move on to X. This is where it might get highly controversial, especially when you see the very first person that's gonna show on the list. And to be honest, I didn't start following this guy on X until yesterday. All right, without further ado. Nick Fuentes. He is a very, very highly controversial person. I hadn't followed him for a while, but YouTube keeps throwing him on my. I've been watching videos. It started when I started seeing his debate with Dean something. You see Parker and Dean. These are two guys that are left leaning debaters that are out there, and it was a really cool conversation they had. It wasn't even a conversation. It was just at each other's throats the whole time. Nick Fuentes and Dean, whatever his name is, I don't know, but either way, Nick Fuentes, I don't really subscribe to him. He's a Christian, but he's a white nationalist. He's into all that, and he's unashamed. He doesn't shy away from it. Whatever it is, whatever he believes. I obviously don't agree with probably half of what he believes, but he's very interesting, and a lot of people out there that are famous, they do follow him. But he is that highly controversial person that is out there that he can't even go on to a lot of platforms just by how nuclear he is. And now you're going to see a lot of the same people. Alex O'Connor, I love him. vidIQ, Wesley Huff, JD Vance. I was combing through these lists, and who I cannot go without staying following them. These are the people that ended up. These are the people that landed, and I'm sure I will comb through more and more. It feels good to, instead of just having a whole baggage of everyone that you really don't feel that connection with. It doesn't mean you can't follow them later. Doesn't mean you can resubscribe. And there's so many people out there that I watch so much more of their stuff, like I said, but who I feel a tie to. Like, I cannot go without subscribing to this person. That's kind of been my level of criteria of when I want to subscribe to or follow someone. JD Vance, Podcast Studios, the best. That's our business. You should check it out. You should follow. This is on X. And then Podbean, again. Restream, that is who I run through a lot of our channels through. They're kind of like a hub for posting your content and putting it out there to a number of different platforms at once, and live streaming a number of different platforms at once. Restream has been pretty solid. Patrick Bet David, Gary V. I've never even tried in my life, so let's try it now. I've never tried to pronounce his last name. Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm going to try to say it, but all I know him is Gary V. I love his stuff. He's a guy, he curses a lot. He's known by that, but he says so much. There's so much wisdom in what he says, especially if you are a person that wants to go out there and just drive your business, build your business, and just be pumped up about your business. I love this video that he made. He's talking about you don't love your business. You love what your business can give you. And it's like, if you are creating something, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a creator, you need to love your business. It can't be just like, I want to have a business so it can make me money, or I want to have a business so it can make influence and build connections and all that kind of stuff. But you got to love your business itself. It is your baby, it is your baby. And some people have a lot of babies out there, All right. Richard Dawkins. I do like him. He's a well-known atheist. Andrew Tate, another huge, highly controversial person. Probably not as much as Nick Fuentes, though. Nick Fuentes, if you are caught having him on your platform, maybe not as much as Netanyahu. If we saw the Nelk Boys the other day, Netanyahu almost is probably the most. People say he is Hitler incarnate right now, which is so weird, so backwards. But Cobra Tate, Andrew Tate, I went back and forth on Andrew. I like his stuff. I really like his stuff. And I like what he stands for. There's some things out there that he does put out there that is just kind of, I don't know, man. You take the good with the bad. There's some things that I don't agree with that he says, and I don't know. I don't want to get into it right now exactly. Got so many other people to cover. Magnus Carlsen, he's the best chess player in the world. So I love chess. I love myself some chess. So seeing his videos and what he does out there, he's been on Joe Rogan as well. Very unique personality. It seems dry, but he's brilliant, very smart. And I've seen videos of him blindfolded playing like 20 people in chess. Maybe not 20, but like 10 people in chess. Him blindfolded, and he's playing against 10 other people in chess, and he's just killing them. I don't know how you do that, but some people are just like I've seen like it's this level of the spectrum. If you hear about autism, people that have that in them, almost like it puts them on another level. And I'm not saying that he has that, and it's definitely not a bad thing to have that. It can almost give you a one leg up if you have that. And it seems like I might got a little bit myself, it doesn't really matter. It's something that if you are, gives you the ability to just be like able to analyze things better than other people and able to see things that other people would just completely miss. You become hyper obsessed. I don't know all that stuff about autism and the spectrum and all that, but like it just seems like a lot of people that have that, they do very well at what they do. Michael Knowles again, Mr. Beast. I got him over here as well. And if there's some carryover, if there's some bleed over from one to the other, that's like a double whammy. That means if I got to follow him on YouTube and X, that means something. I just want you to personalize this for you. And then even just thinking about it for you, if you're wanting to build an audience, why would somebody subscribe to you as opposed to anyone else? You got to be so good. You got to be a person that they can't stand you not being in their life. I know there's family and friends that just subscribe to you just for the love, just for the love. They want to give you a little bit of love and they show you that. But like, if you're in this space, you're not doing it for your family or your friends, like, and creating stuff. You're doing it for the people, everyone else out there. You're building entertainment. You're building value. You're not building something that just, good feelings and all that, good vibes, and you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of thing. And just, you're doing it to actually genuinely help other people in some form or fashion. That's at the end of the day. Otherwise, what's the point of any of it? What's the point of any of it? Money will dry up. You'll never have enough fame. You'll never have enough, whatever it is. It's like, it's overall the good that you are doing for other people, And if we want to take it to the next layer, it would be, ultimately for God and his kingdom. Because, at the end of the day, anything not done for God and for his kingdom is going to burn up in the end. It's not even going to matter. It's just a waste of time. You're just wasting your time. Okay. Ian Miles Cheong. He posts a lot of good stuff. I don't even know if good stuff, just he posts a lot of stuff. He's like very into the news. I've felt maybe a tie with him. If he says some crazy stuff, I don't agree with a lot of the things he says, but like, just because, like I said, you subscribe to someone, you're not married to them. They are not you. You are not them. It's just like who you feel that close tie with. Jack Poso, I like him a lot. Ninja, Cat Turd. I've almost went to where I'm going to unsubscribe to Cat Turd. I like Trump a lot, but it seems like he is almost even more than me. So, if that's even a word. I like Trump a lot, but it seems like he posts things that are just like he has drunk the Kool-Aid. Like I want to be like, I like Trump a lot, but I want to still be like, have him at a distance and be critical and able to be critical and say things that I'm not in a cult and believing in Trump. It seems like Cat Turd, he is more like anything Trump does, it's automatically perfect. I don't think we have to be that. Even Trump, I don't think we have to do that. Jordan Peterson, he might be somebody I might subscribe back to on YouTube. I like Jordan so much. Ben Palazzi, this is guy. He's not super well known, and there's going to be some of those guys, especially. He's funny. He's kind of like that Caleb that I showed you earlier, and we're going to see down here as well. It's just somebody that I feel a unique connection with just because who they are as an individual. He's hilarious. He's funny. He's not a crazy rock star, superstar out there. I'm sure he would like to be, but at this time he's not, and he might become that later on. It's not always your time right now. You don't know at what point you could just go out of this world. Bill Maher, as you can see, I like him a lot. Babylon Bee, it's funny, news network. They post a lot of stuff. It's a lot of satire. Caleb, we got there. Adam Carolla, he was probably the patient one of podcasting. He was the one of the guys that really got the ball rolling for podcasting. Adam Krigler, I like him a lot. He used to be on Tim Pool's show, and I've kind of just never I don't really watch much of his stuff. I don't. And I see some of the things he posts, but I really don't. But again, it's that connection. It doesn't necessarily like everything in internet and creativity and creating content. It has shifted to where's the interest at? Who is making stuff that is just going to go viral? Who's going to make something that's going to be helpful? And being helpful and like bringing value and going viral, they ain't the same thing. They're not the same thing. But like who you follow and who you have that connection with, they might not be the person that you watch all day long, but they're still like almost a layer outside your family. You feel a little closer to them. All right, Jake Paul, Ed Reed, and Troy Polamalu. You can see they're back to back. Those are my two favorite football players of all time. Troy Polamalu and Ed Reed, the best safeties in the NFL. Period. There's no one better than those two guys. And they were so different. Just them alone, they were so different from one another. Ed Reed, if he got the ball, if he grabbed the ball, if he intercepted it, it was going the other way, all the way. Troy Polamalu, he was a destroyer. He could hit somebody, he could knock people out, but he could also intercept and return it. Not as good, I would say, as Ed Reed, but he was a guy that just like would knock people out as well, more so than Ed Reed. AOC, I am, guilty. I'm following AOC. Tim Pool, absolutely. Marshall Mathers, Eminem. Stephen King, my favorite author. Charlie Kirk, Elon. You got to follow Elon. I've said the other day, Elon, we are not hearing as much from him as we used to. We used to, day and night, all day long, hear from him. I think he cooled off when he left the Trump administration and he's doing his things. He's trying to focus on his business. He's doing all that. He's not as much of a lightning rod as he was. And I think he's trying to settle in and be more relatable to everyone, as opposed to he did what he wanted. He wanted Trump in office because there would have been so many changes in just the whole entertainment and whole freedom of speech if Trump wouldn't have won. And I think Elon did what he had to do to get Trump in there, so it kind of preserved that way of life. But now Elon has shrink back to his tower of building his businesses and doing all that, And I honestly don't hear about him as much as I used to. Joe Rogan, Jack Nicklaus, probably you could argue the best golfer ever. Joe Pags, he's a hilarious talk show host. Justin Biebs, the Biebs, yay, Kanye West. Ben Shapiro, you're seeing a lot of crossover, a lot of bleed over. Patrick Mahomes, InfoWars, and Alex Jones. That is, InfoWars is Alex's his platform. Him, Nick Fuentes, and Cobra Tate, Andrew Tate are probably the most highly controversial people that I follow out there, but I like them all. I don't know as much about Nick Fuentes. He's more kind of just a interest kind of right now for me, and just seeing what he's saying, because I obviously don't agree with so much what he believes, but he is a person that is unabashedly unashamed of just fighting for his beliefs and his opinions, as opposed to somebody he's not scared and he's not going to back down. He's the person that leaves it all on his sleeve, we already talked about him, but Donald Trump, Jesse Waters, Tucker, Leo, my favorite actor, Leonardo DiCaprio, Glenn Beck, Skip Bayless, and Tim Tebow. This is kind of like probably a newest to oldest. This is like who I have followed the oldest probably on X is Tim Tebow. All right. We're going to skip over to TikTok. I know you're seeing a lot of the same names. I'm not going to do this every day, but I wanted to do this today. And then almost the biggest thing is this psychology of who subscribes to you, who are you trying to get to subscribe to you, and why do you subscribe to others? What is the reason? Because peel back the layers of the onion and get to the heart of the issue. Why are you subscribing to who you're subscribing to? And I would say there is that therapeutic thing of just weed out the ones that you don't necessarily need, but doesn't mean you got to stop watching them. But who do you feel that deep connection with? The McFarlanes, this is just a family. Isn't it weird? Like when you're starting to say something, you're thinking about 2 words ahead or the next word, and you blend it together. They're a funny family. There's Caleb, Andrew Russo, the funniest guy on the planet. I will say that over. This feels good for me to just be able to talk this out, because this is a window to my soul. Not everybody cares about it, you know. I honestly wouldn't care about some other people's windows to their soul, you know, and like this. But for me to actually just talk it out, it feels good. As we're gonna see a lot, some of these people, especially as we get to Instagram, is where we're gonna see people I personally know that my goal is to, I want to, if I'm following you, I don't want to unfollow you if it's someone I personally know. You know, that doesn't always happen, but that's my goal. Andrew Russo, Frank Sinatra, the legend, probably one of my favorite singers ever. You know, I wasn't alive when he was doing his thing, but he is. I'm going to the people that are really there, to you that are listening, you're going to hear some heartfelt, from why I am Ghost Sinatra and why I chose that name, because I love Ghost and I love Frank Sinatra. That's the real reason, and only you know. Only you know. All right. The next one, Shifo7091, that is my mother. That's my mom. All right, then we got Eminem, Ninja, Ben Shapiro, Alex Hermosi. He is a business entrepreneur. His main gig, his main deal right now is the school community building that whole platform and all that. You know, you can do whatever you is, but either way, you listen to his stuff, he will get you fired up and pumped up and want to just go out there and kill it for your business, you know, and do it for right reasons and why you're doing it. He's kind of like that Gary Vee factor to me. Charlie Kirk, Diary of a CEO, and then right here, these might be some of the people that I think on TikTok, a lot of the people on TikTok, I don't even necessarily personally know. I think I just started, I don't know why I followed some. But it's like, I almost, because like if they became where they are my friend on there, I didn't want to unfollow them. I want to, like, you know, ride or die with them, you know, even though I might not necessarily even know that, because there is that, you know, especially when you get into Facebook, there's so many people that I'm just friends with that I don't even really know at all. And I'm sure you have that as well. But it's like, these are the people that I'm, you know, you're in my life. You know, you're not just a public figure out there that I follow and I feel like following sometime. But, you know, I want to stay close-knit to you, you know. And I don't know. A lot of these people I do not know. Christopher, Dr. Iberry. I probably there's a reason I forget exactly why I started following him. Carol Dillon, 39. Ronnie Joe, I do know her. Know her in real life. I don't know what this one is, but that is my daughter's picture. That is my daughter's picture on there, and it's Fidget Obsessed Trader. I don't know who... I don't know if my daughter created that or created that with her friends or with her nana or what, but it's out there and I'm following it. We're friends, whatever. I don't even know. I don't know about that one. My daughter Sophie, she does have a legitimate account. I don't know what that is, but I know what her legitimate account one is. But this one right here, I don't know anything really about it. I don't even know what's going on there. I really don't. But she does have one. We'll get to her actual professional business TikTok account, which is also on X. I don't know. I don't think she's on X, but she's on Instagram. This is another people. These are a lot of people I don't know. I don't know them. But I'm gonna unfollow you then, because I don't necessarily know you, but we're not friends. So I'm gonna unfollow you, because I'm saying, like, the people that are friends with me, and like, even though they're not big wigs out there, that huge people out there, we're friends. This is a person that I for some reason started following. He's not just a person I by the eye test recognize immediately. He's not somebody I know. So, hey, I'm sure you gave me something good, but you know, I gotta part ways, man. You're not following me. We're not friends. You know, this is where it ends. You gotta have those moments. I don't know who this person is. Sandra. I don't even want to act like I'm pronouncing her name. Rich is a person these people are friends with. Trisha, Ella, Heather. I don't know these people, but we are friends. Krita on. Another one. I believe this is actually my mom's. That's weird. How many accounts does my mom have? I think that's my mom. Right there. Sherry, Fidget Trader. So maybe she had the other one as well. TikTok is probably the most messed up situation of having accounts by far of any platform out there. TikTok is the most messed up situation. It is such a weird deal. There's some great things about TikTok, but some things are just It's filthy. It's filthy. It's not clean. And it's like your account. And that's why so many people create so many accounts, because it's not a clean situation. But they know how to do. They got the algorithm right. They got the algorithm in a lot of ways. All right, Fox News. You can see, I guess I follow Fox News, and that's the only news I follow. Probably because the other ones I can't have a stomach for, and some of the things. And Fox News ain't perfect, but I would say, and I know people don't like this. They are, of the major networks out there, probably the most fair and balanced. Probably, but maybe that's kind of as I lean more conservative. Tina Bush, that's a family member. Donald Trump Jr., President Donald Trump. And there's my daughter. She's got a picture of Billie Eilish on there, but her handle is Sophie.Eilish.Sterniolo. She likes Sterniolos and Billie Eilish. Ryan Flinders, he's a person I know in real life. These are people I actually know. Kelly DePriest, Ryan Sandeman, he's a family friend. He's a great man. Great man. Podcast Studios, the business, the future of creativity, entertainment, marketing, branding. Podcast Studios. Remember that. Find it. You know, get connected with it. Get connected with it as much as you can. Otherwise, we are coming for you, and we want to lock arms with you. You know, we want to. Abdullah Tarawa. This is somebody that I knew, and I would say is a friend overseas. I met him when I was overseas. He's just a great human being. Jesse Waters, everybody knows him. Breedlove, this is people I know. Beverly Leach, Benson. Benson is a high profile, probably I would say the person with the best vocals of any man that I've seen, you know, in a certain way. You know, I love Frank Sinatra, but I've never seen a guy have vocals like Benson Boone. He's such a good singer, you know. Royals and Chiefs, this is people I know. And there's Abdullah Azim, this is somebody I also met overseas. Jeremy Werline, that's my cousin. Brandon Sherry, went to school with him. Tammy Berry, that's my aunt. Amber, friends. Josh, my cousin. Tucker Carlson. Who is this? Digby Edgley. Hey, I gotta let go, man. I don't know you. We ain't friends. I'm sure this person I really liked on TikTok. If there was anything, TikTok and X, but primarily TikTok, I used to like, if I found anybody that just made me laugh, I liked any of them, I would follow them. Because TikTok, it is another thing. You lose sight of them. You lose touch with them. It's like if you don't grab on, they're gone. They vanish. You know, they literally evaporate from your world. You know, you don't see them ever again. But I got to let go, man. Even though I probably like your stuff, I got to let go. That's a bad idea. These guys are hilarious. These guys are hilarious on TikTok. They're so funny, you know. Mr. Beast, third time's the charm. This is somebody we're seeing on all three. Dylan Page, he's news daddy. He's funny. He's not even funny. He's not. I'm sure he's funny at times. He brings the news to you like intensely, and right to the point. His videos cover so much and so quick. He's really good. He's really good at what he does. The love of my life, Jesse Fogel, J Fogue 32. That's my wife. And then here we see I forget his name already, but it's Ben Palazzi. You know, I have him on X. Matt Cutshall. This is somebody. These are early ons of TikTok. You know, TikTok had its heyday, its biggest heyday when we were like in 2020 COVID. Like these are the guys that take me back. Even though that was a terrible time in human history, it was good having those guys in my life. Very funny. Tyler Jerry, he's different. A lot of his videos are the same though. It's about him being a father and doing like what dads do and all this kind of stuff. He has his own kind of genre, his own milieu, you know. Tyler Jerry, I would say follow him. He's very funny. My wife loves his stuff. He's very funny. Jake Paul, awesome. I go back and forth. Jake Paul and Logan Paul. If I had, like, who would I choose? If I could have one person in my life, I can only grab onto one. I'm not literally grab on, but, like, who am I going to choose out of those two? I'm going Jake. But I do like both of them. And the Biebs. We're going to end it there with Justin Bieber. And I hope you'll have enough for, this ain't a sprint. This is a marathon. All right. The last one we got. This is where it gets probably extra personal. I would say the most personal that is out there would if we went to my Facebook. Because Facebook is next level. It's like where your grandparents, your parents, your grandmas, I don't even know. Like it's different. I feel weird even putting anything on Facebook because it's when it's the people that you know and they know you. There is that comfortability factor that you feel with people that are just out there. You can feel a deep connection even though you're thousands of miles away from each other, that you feel more, that you maybe don't have as much with somebody that in real life, and it feels weird to like have that somebody that almost a little bit creepy-ish, when somebody in real life is kind of checking out your stuff. It feels weird even though you're still thankful for them. It strikes differently. All right, we're moving to Instagram, and this is going to be the last of it. All right, this is going to be very close to my heart. A lot of these things, these are going to be like more so people I literally know in real life, IRL. Brandon Fogel, IRL. All right, the top there we can see Jesse Fogel. That is my wife, my bride. Next, Podcast Studios, The Business, baby. The Business, Podcast Studios. Nick the Kick, I would say my best friend I've had, in all my life. I like him. I love him a lot, but I'm not in connection with him really now. But, we have our memories together. Resilient Rusty, that is Pastor Rusty Savage, and then Pastor Rusty, his other personal one. He's got his ministry, Resilient Shepherds Ministries, which is I don't know too much about, but he's overall like an awesome human being, a fighter for the kingdom, a fighter for Jesus. So I mean, anything that he does is awesome. Pastor Rusty Savage, and then Sophie, that is my daughter, Sophie Eilish Sterniolo. And these are just most of these people are just people I know. This is my tried and true back in my hometown, still messing around, still talking about that one touchdown. All right, here we go. Just people I know. Bill Robbins, I don't all over now. He's got Zach Keith, Mitch Black. That is my street. That is my boy. And Rex Martin, love that guy. Ethan McLean. These are just, like I said, just people I know, and I'm not gonna unfollow. I'm not gonna because they are. But right here, I can't see if they're following me or not. Either way, these are my the people I go to. The people that I would say, I'm not gonna let go. I'm not letting go, Jack. I'm not letting go. Okay, Ethan McLean, Mindy Hooks, just Sharp, Emily McLean, Autumn Mitchell, Amy Nutt. Ashley Renicky, Whitley Lynn, Chuck Seiler, Brian Stevenson. He has a place in my heart, a person I absolutely love, Probably said I love you, Tim, more than probably I should have, Jennison Duvall. This is Janice Renicky. This is weird. Like people like in real life, you're like reading and not necessarily like everybody out there knows, but it's like these are the people that my heart. This is my heart, Denise Wilson, Kirsten. I don't know necessarily who that is. I don't know if I know who that is, but like, this isn't games. This isn't games. This isn't like TikTok. This isn't like X. This is my, like I said, my heart. Tammy Berry, my aunt, Scott Sweargen, Dane Minen, Tony Flower, Coach Marsh. This is somebody I go to church with. Hubbard Savage, Lee Webb, Sean Perry. Like, this is weird. This is like people in real life, personal, but there is no more personal. There is you, your brand, your life. It is all one. Sean Parrott, Chris Stubbs, Chris O'Connor, Ty Bailey, Ronnie Joe. We saw her in my TikTok. Oha Burgess, Ryan Kilkenny, Leanna Foot, Patrick Mahomes. What's up, Patrick? All right, you got a comeback tour, man. You got a comeback tour. You got to take it to the next level. Who cares if your line can't block for you and your receivers can't catch? You need to throw it to yourself in the end zone, and that's how we got to score every touchdown. J.W. Fritz, President Real Donald Trump, Leo baby, Charlie Kirk, Wesley Huff, Jake Paul, Ben Shapiro, Tim Tebow, Joe Rogan, my cousin Derek Frost, and Abdullah Tarawa is the person I know from overseas. So I got a lot really personal right there. We're going to switch back over to X. Okay. All right. So I hope that was maybe somewhat thought provoking for you. Who are you subscribing to? Clean it out. The ones that you really love. If you can't live without subscribing or following them, doesn't mean that they shouldn't exist, but it's about you. It's about you and who you want to see, like who you have that connection with. You can still watch the hell out of everybody else out there, or watch the heaven out of everybody else out there. But who you want to have a tight knit with, who you feel that that connection with, make those be the people that you follow, you subscribe to, and all that. It's not a life or death who you subscribe to. This is just vanity metrics, all that kind of stuff, but that's why I want to be a person that's not just, I want to build a huge following for no reason, but I genuinely want to have community with as many people as possible. And that's my goal. And if I can do something that's going to bring value and help someone, that's what I want to do. All right. So, follow me on X and Instagram at Brandon Fogel. Have a great day, everyone. Peace.
I could see the cracks form in the paint, growing like a fire. What do I say? Can you see